Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vig here for Serpent X Tech. Again, working on the '05 Acura TL, but just more on the creature comfort side. I got a plug-and-play amp here from MobileMax Audio, which should be able to plug right into our factory harness. I got two 6.5-inch kicker speakers for the rear, and then an upgraded 8-inch sub. Not a super big sub, but one that's compatible again. Because I already took out the rear seats in the past and I had the deck lid off, it's going to make it super easy. We can see all access to the screws, but the first things first is we need to get this amp installed. I will say that the website that I'll link to down in the description makes everything very easy. As they say, plug and play. They offer plug and play harnesses that adapt, aftermarket speakers and setup with the factory harness on these 3rd gen TLs. So first, this amplifier, the stock amplifier is in the passenger footwell over there. So we're gonna go switch over there right now and take a look. You're looking at it right now. 3 bolts hanging onto it, plus a couple of connectors. Let's switch over there. One bolt is up top, right above my finger. It's a bolt that is going onto a stud that's connected to the body of the car. And then you got what appears to be 2 10s down here. If I look from the side here, you'll see them. So there's one right here, and then there's one right here. This connector, very easy to grab. You don't need to disconnect it from the body just yet, but very easy to unplug that. We're gonna have to go after those bolts. I already got the top one loosened up. The kick panel that goes here sits like that. It's gonna be interesting to see how the new amp is gonna fit in this same area. Probably gonna have to do some zip tying and some adjustments, but 10 millimeter, need to get to work. Gonna disconnect that and then bring you guys back for the next part, but need to get this amp down. And you can see the harness running up. This black thing right here has the harness running through it and then through the dash to your stock radio. So gotta very carefully remove that and try to start disconnecting stuff. Before we continue with the old amp removal and the new one installed, I have some copyright free music, or at least it claims to be, that I want to play for you. We're going to have the stereo set at the same level before and after, because the reason why I'm doing all this is the max volume is 40 and I am getting barely any sound from my speakers, the center, the left, the right, the sub, anything. And this amplifier is going to change that. And you can run this plug and play amp with the stock stereo equipment, but I'm just going to upgrade the rear speakers for now and go from there. So let's run 25 on the volume for before and after sound, starting now. Back to the removal. I will say, trying to disconnect the cables while this amp is still mounted to the chassis is the best bet. It is a little bit tight to get in there, but your black connector goes in right there, your gray connector goes in right there. I was able to do it. I did have help because I actually have a little bit of nails. I know some people without nails might have a little bit hard trouble, so now we can probably tackle these 10 millimeter bolts. I was able to slide the amplifier off of that top bolt up there, right, because it just hooks onto it, as you can see. And to remove this harness assembly, there's this little tab here. You got to pry out and then lift up away from the chassis or the amp housing. And you can see it goes into those little tab holes. So we got another one up top that we need to do to release this amp from this harness container. So the harness is just running through here. This is just a protective housing. So let's do that same thing with up top right here. All right, so here's our amp, and you can see the 2 connectors. Again, you got a black and a gray, and honestly, you didn't even need to disconnect this connector right here, but it did give me a little bit more room. But yeah, just that black and gray connector right there. Here's your amp. You can fix these. I'll hang on to it in case somebody wants to repair it. You just got to replace the capacitors on them when they start running low like this. Maybe we'll do a teardown in a future video. You let me know. But This is this little guy right here, this blue guy, is actually what the backside of your kick plate hangs onto, right? So that slots into here. So now that that's going to be gone, that might present a problem. That kick panel might fall. I know it clips in a couple other areas, like right here and right here, but since we're losing that rear area where we can click into, that might be something that rattles or moves a lot. So just be mindful of that. Let's take a look at the new amp now. All right, and here is the new amp. Got this again from MobileMax Car Audio, only because they've been messing with TLs for a hot minute. We have a boost controller right here, and take note, there's a 4-pin connector right there that does connect to this harness right here. And you got two options: either you're running aftermarket speakers where you're connecting everything via coaxial, or you're going to be running the stock harness and setup, which is what I'm doing. And you can see our black and gray connectors. But take a look at this. Some of my IT guys might be familiar with this. This connector looks like the 12-volt high power connector that NVIDIA has been burning up their 50 series GPUs with. So I find that very funny. I'm sure that's not you know, conducting or having a lot of power run through it, but mostly signal and all that good stuff. Because if we look at the rear side of the amp, which by the way, if you order from these guys, they will tune the amp for your specified settings. In my case, a 3rd gen TL, you could see the 12-volt connector. I say 12-volt connector, but it's basically a 12-pin, right? And it runs your left and right sub, your left and right front, and left and right rear. So that connector on the stock harness is going to go there. But if I was running aftermarket speakers with coax connections, I would connect there as well. And then everything else has its place. For example, this connector with a zip tie in it, we can see it aligns with this guy that has 3 pins. Then we have this one right here with a little bit of orange in it that looks like the sub control. And then we have 2 more connectors that my IT guys would be familiar with. We have an 8-pin and a 2-pin. And you can see, if we look at the connector here, there's our 8-pin back there and our 2-pin. So everything should go together for me quite easily, because I'm going to be using the stock factory you know, system. Maybe not the subwoofer and speakers in the back, but pretty much the factory system, stereo, all that stuff. But I have the ability to upgrade in the future for aftermarket. So let's go ahead and start getting this installed. Again, the harness ran. I don't think I'm going to run the sub controller, but I'll explore that at a later date and time. Now let's just get this in position. Everything is plugged up now. I actually am going to use the original bolts that held the old amplifier in, because this thing does have a lip, and there might be a way to kind of like set it on top and kind of tighten it down. But I got everything plugged in because I want to do a test and make sure everything is working before we plug it. The only thing I don't have plugged in is obviously the bass control knob, which again, I could probably figure that out later. Maybe route it to the glove box or something, or put it on the side here. But yeah, everything is plugged in. Make sure every connector is seated properly. You'll hear it click, tick, whatever. It's just like working on GPUs, guys. Or plugging in your motherboard connectors, same exact thing. And it's just so funny to see this 12-pin connector, very similar to the GPUs being used on the amplifier, but I'm sure it was used on amps or audio equipment well before the GPUs were. And it's so funny to me that NVIDIA thought they could run so much power through that tiny connector. Anyways, everything's plugged in. Let's turn on and do another sound test and make sure all the speakers are working. Damn, that is such a huge difference, guys. Huge difference. Same volume level. Dude, I haven't seen this subwoofer move in forever. Forever. It's been years since the subwoofer has moved. Like, it barely moved at all in the past. And it was all because that stock amp died. So now we got to get everything mounted up, cleaned up. Let's see if I could do a good job of cable management. So here's the final configuration. I did run the base wire. It's kind of over this shroud here, and I need to get it configured the way I want to, somewhere along this passenger side well. A lot of wires, so I'll just use some zip ties or some form of cable management. Did bolt the bottom section down, so that thing ain't going nowhere. It's nice and good. And then with the protective shroud on the outside, we should be good. Just trying to tuck everything nicely, make sure nothing's in the way. Some of the wires are sitting on top here, but that is the amp installed. And then it's just a matter of installing the subwoofers and speakers, which, as you saw, the deck is already off because I had removed everything in the back here, including the trunk components and stuff like that. To get this off, it's very simple. Realistically, I don't think I'm ever going to put the deck back on. I might in the future. But right here is a hole that leads to a bolt that you would have to get to remove. There's obviously headrests. This one doesn't have a headrest, but the other headrest is somewhere up there. You can actually see it. But you unconnect down here in the middle is a clip to lift the bottom seat up. Take those out, remove the seat belts. There's going to be some bolts in the bottom section. There's going to be some bolts in the top section. And once you remove that, then you got your two, I believe these are called C-pillars. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can see, we could see the components in the airbag and stuff like that all out in the open. That is also up there. And once you have that removed, you can remove the deck lid. There's a whole video on it. I don't have step-by-steps on that, but I'm just simply, I got 3 screws on each speaker, 4 on the sub. Use the adapter kit that was provided to us, and then that thing will be installed in literally like maybe 15 minutes total. Here's the spacers that we need provided to us, and I'll come back and show you the difference in sound quality after that's all done. Just to show you what I'm doing with the speakers, again, because I was able to get the plug and play adapters, the cables that come with this Kicker DSC 650, we could still use them if we really wanted to, but the plug and play adapters make it that much easier to plug into the stock harness and then connect to the speakers themselves, that we got 2, both the sub and 1 speaker in, and then here's the stock speaker. I'm just gonna hang on to them for long term, and let me show you what it looks like on the back deck. So you can see, again, 1 speaker, 1 subwoofer, and that spacer right there is going to be needed for that speaker. So I need to take that speaker out first, and then that spacer is going to go on. And if we look at the spacer, it's just a set amount of holes. They even provided some foam padding on the back to mitigate noise. But these bigger or deeper holes, that's what we mount the main 3 screws, right? And then we use the normal 4 screws on your standard aftermarket speaker to mount the speaker itself. And the speakers came with screws too, but I'm just using the ones that came with these spacers and the kit that I'll link down in the description. So let me continue on. I don't have to put these plates on, like that one isn't really actually mounted. I'm just putting it on there for now, but plates come off, and then that's what the speaker looks like. It's not a bad little guy. But yeah, just gotta take that last one out, and then here's the adapter. Again, plugs in only one way, connects to the factory harness, and then these 2 little red connectors only connect one way because one is smaller than the other, and if you look on the speaker, one connection is smaller than the other. So you can't mess it up unless you're really trying to force things in. It's really simple. They make it easy for you. So let me get this last one in. All right, now everything's installed. Run the car for a little bit, getting the alternators some charge, but let's go ahead and do another sound test with these 3 things installed. So 2 new speakers, 6.5 inch aftermarket kickers, and then the 8-inch sub. Let's do another sound test. And I still have the bass knob that I just velcroed to the side there. It obviously fell down, so I probably should get some rubbing alcohol. I'll figure out a better way to put it up. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Very humid here in North Florida, but we got better sound even from the stock speakers, and we have improved sound from upgrading the rear. I'll upgrade the front in a future date. So I don't normally do automotive content as often as I have been on this channel, but if you like crypto mining, cryptocurrency news, tech teardowns, overall, and some automotive stuff, well, I guess my channel is becoming more and more of an automotive tech and crypto channel. But I appreciate every single one of y'all for stopping by. Hopefully this video helped out some of y'all who are researching or looking to upgrade. Check out links in the description and do me a favor on the way out. Make sure to hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, and check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. Take care. I'll catch you next one.